Okay, welcome to Unit 8 on assessment. We are going to be creating a rubric, which is a form of grading assessment for one of your activities that you have already done this semester, or you can choose to do a rubric for a new activity of your choosing. So what is a rubric? A rubric is a type of scoring guideline that assesses and articulates specific assignment components and expectations for an assignment. You'll notice that I have created rubrics for each of your activities throughout this semester. So rubrics can be used for a variety of assignments: research papers, group projects, portfolios, individual presentations, group presentations, all kinds of different project assessments. So why might you choose to use a rubric? Well, rubrics can help a teacher assess assignments consistently from student to student, so that you're grading one student with the same level of stringency that you would another student. It helps teachers save time in grading. It gives timely, effective feedback and promotes students' learning in a substantial way because they get so much feedback that is very specific to what the objectives were for the activity. It also helps to clarify expectations and components of an assignment. A rubric can also refine teaching methods by evaluating rubric results. What this means is after a class has completed an assignment, you have used the rubric to grade it, and then you go back and look at the rubrics that you have completed for the students. You can see areas and trends where possibly you might need to reteach for that particular group. How does it help students? It helps students by really explaining what the expectations are and what are the important components of an assignment. It also helps students become more aware of their learning progress and the process of their learning. It helps students improve their work because it enables teachers to give timely and detailed feedback. So when you're using a rubric and developing a rubric, it's important for teachers to think about the following: that a rubric takes time to create, and it takes time to really do one well. A rubric is usually always a work in progress from one group to the next group. Refining is important. Rubrics are often used with written assignments, but they have uses for many other applications as well. Rubrics can be used to give peer-to-peer feedback, and it helps students look at what the important components are when they're assessing someone else's work. One of my favorite uses for rubrics is to use them for self-assessment, that students are able to look at the rubric before and while they're creating an assignment or a project, and it really helps hone them in on what is specifically required for their performance and their learning. So in this unit, you are going to be creating a rubric using a great tool. This tool is called RubyStar for Teachers. And also, as a reminder, you have your last quiz, Chapter 8 quiz. The rubric is your final project. It's your final assessment for this course. Let me open up sharing and let's go to RubyStar. So the link you are going to is RubyStar, RubyStar.4 teachers plural.org. Okay? Rubistar, RUBISTAR.4, the number 4, teachers.org. When you get there, click on sign up. And when you have clicked on sign up, you click on the new user form. It asks for your zip code because this is a nonprofit website run by the University of Kansas. And so by getting your zip code, they're able to apply for different grants that they can get different places. So you'll click on register, and then you'll be able to log in. Name modifier. Remember what that is. All right, so to get started, you'll want to go to create a rubric. And you are going to create a lesson activity worksheet with a standard, objectives, and what kind of project that you're having students do. If you would like to, you can use one of the lesson activity worksheets that you have done for one of our other projects this semester. So if you want to do it for maybe your Google assignment or your video sandwich assignment, that's fine. Just create a rubric to go with that assignment or modify that assignment a little bit. So Rubistar is great because it gives you a lot of different base rubrics to work with. So if you want your students to create a timeline or a poster or make a map or create a game or a brochure, create a story with digital storytelling, to make a video, to write a lab report, to do all kinds of different writing, to write a persuasive essay, to write a story, do graphing in math or problem solving in math. Students can make a mask, they can design a stage, they can design a musical instrument, they can do theater production for a musical, do a literature circle. All these different things give you a base to work from. So I'm going to click on, let's say, persuasive essay. I'm going to put my name in here. And keep it clean, oceans. So let's say this is for 5th grade and they're learning about reuse and recycle and how a lot of our plastics are going into our oceans. So that's my goal. I'll put, all right. Then down here, because you chose a persuasive essay, there were thousands of teachers that they had turn in their categories for their rubrics and the different details for those. So out of those 1,000, they chose like the top 15 or so. It depends on the category. And so you choose the category that makes sense for your students. So this is 5th grade, so I'm going to choose a position statement there. And then here you see that that you can get in here and you can modify that. So the position statement, I'm going to say, is is very strong, has a clear, strong statement of, is very creative, has a clear, strong statement of the author's position on the topic. So see how you can go in and modify these. Make sure these make sense for your topic and your grade level. If you want to change the category name, you can do that here. So then let's choose another one. I'll go for support for position. And again, you can go in and modify depending on your grade level. Let's see, let's use evidence and examples. Again, modify. And maybe I'll choose sources there. So maybe all sources cited in APA correctly. Okay, so I always get this question. How many categories should you have? Well, it depends on your assignment. It depends on your age group. It depends on your students. What are your objectives? The rubric should help inform students what your expectations are. So anywhere from 3 to 5, I think maybe 5 over 5 might spread students too thin to where they aren't sure what's important. So generally speaking, I would give the answer, how many categories should you have? Generally speaking, I would say 3 to 5. But again, it depends on what your project is, what the assignment is. So I'll go down here to the bottom and I'll click on submit. Now this is the important part that I want you to do. Make sure that you copy this, and we are going to copy and paste it in a Word document. So let me open up, I highlight it, and then I'm going to paste it into a Word document. So here in my Word document, I should have a title, I should have my standard, I should have my objectives, activity plan, and then under that activity plan, then I'm just going to paste my rubric in there, and I'm going to just kind of drag and drop things so that it makes sense. I can take out a row if I want to. You don't have to, but kind of move things around so it looks good. All right. Okay. Make sure that there's no errors when it comes over. Kind of read through it. Make sure that it makes sense. Okay. Kind of make it look nice. So, like I said, you can use the lesson activity worksheet from an activity that you have already done this semester with your chosen standard, your objectives, and your activity plan, and then just write in how you plan to use this rubric. Then you'll just file and save it and hand in this assignment for this grade. Let's look at some rubrics for pre-K. Let me bring over a thing here. So if you're ever in doubt, you can also create a rubric from scratch, but try using the Ruby Star, but if it doesn't work for you, you are welcome to create a rubric on your own. Some of you in pre-K might want to look for other kinds of rubrics that are associated with your pre-K standards. So to do that, I will just say rubrics for preschool. And you might want to just jump right into the images. And and look at different preschool rubrics here to get an idea. Now, the rubrics can be for the parents, or they can be something that you fill out with students. So, but generally there's quite a lot of writing on them, and most of the time they are for parents, but students can help fill them out as well. See if we can get another one to show up here. Oh, that's first grade math there. But this might be a good place to get some ideas for rubrics. See if this one makes sense. So here, drawing a picture. Reading rubric, fluency, decoding, comprehension. So you'll get some ideas here. Okay, let's move over to your module this week. And so this is Unit 8. This will be your final project, your final assessment for the class. So here's the assignment. So you're going to select standards, write objectives and an activity description by completing the integrated technology worksheet. I am fine with you using one that you have already created and that you are building the rubric for. So you do need to create a rubric on your own that is in alignment with that. Here I give the Ruby star where you go, and please make sure to put it all into one Word document. Okay. Also here, I have an article that talks about the advantages of using a rubric. Here in your agenda and outcomes, I have created another short 8-minute video on why rubrics look the way they do, how to create a rubric on your own. So watch this short video. Remember, read the last chapter in your book, chapter 8. You will have the quiz on chapter 8. And here also in the module, I have lots of examples. So here's some more pre-K examples of storytelling. This one looks like it's for 7th grade example. Social studies. Here's one for kindergarten, creating a home and school map. And there are some more pre-K examples in there as well. Okay, that's all that I have. Thank you for a wonderful class. I look forward to seeing the rubrics that you create. Have a fantastic night.